Maiden and Shield Block. Have way more time. Whereas if you do the Malgus version, it's all in one turn. You do your Frostbolt Ice Lance, plus the additional 20 in one turn. So it's a lot better against Warrior specifically. And then as far as matchups across the board go, yeah, it hurts some of your matchups. It's interesting in the Mage Mirror, but generally you'd want the Power Blast and the Antonitis as well, because that deck drops it. But if you're playing all of them, then it's good. But yeah, it really depends.
Yeah, a lot of players that I've talked
to they switch back to the just like the more cleaner, consistent version. They can't really fit the Malgus in consistently.
I was actually talking to your teammate Reynad. He says he hates Pyroblast, and he was having a conversation with Oskaka, and they were both saying how they've been cutting Pyroblast. Was he just jumping on the bandwagon? He heard Oskaka say that he was cutting Pyroblast.
Well, okay. I remember back in the day, I used to try to get him into Pyroblast Antonitis, and he was like, no, I don't like Antonitis. It's too slow. I'm going to go to Pyroblast. And now he's not liking Pyroblast, which is okay if he's playing Malagus, but I'm not even sure what he's doing. But I guess Emperor made Antonitis a little bit better, so he probably likes Antonitis better. I don't know what he plays, though, in terms of Freeze Mage. I haven't seen him play it in a while.
Yeah. I think he was just going with the flow of the conversation. But so far, SerptheTerp has managed to rack up about 14 armor. He got Ysera down pretty safely. It's looking to be one of those pretty standard Control Warrior versus Mage games. There's a chance for Nostam to still come back in this one, but it's going to mean he has to basically draw exactly Archmage Antonitis, Alex Straza, like, in turn.
Yeah, and he's going to need, like, even if he gets double Doomsayer, it's not going to go off. He has an Owl and an Execute just waiting, so Ysera's never going to die. Although he has the option to finally Flame Strike that Emperor, which he's been kind of ignoring for the time being. Ysera lives forever, but that's okay. There's actually not that many relevant draws off Ysera. You'd like a not a Nightmare. You'd like a Awakens just for the burst for the Grom activation. But other than that, they're all pretty useless. The Dream is actually pretty cool because you can hit things like your Shield Maiden, if you or maybe that Owl if he needs to silence again. You can actually get some pretty cool lethals with Owl because they freeze your board and they leave they'll try to freeze Grom.
Yeah, or you can a weird way to remove a Doomsayer as well.
Yeah,
he can almost play his whole hand. His Shieldman and Dr. Boom Deathbite hand. Actually, he can play his whole hand next turn.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. He wouldn't even be able to with room on the board, but he would have the mana to, which is the crazy thing.
Oh, you can even set something up too. If Nostam ever tries to Doomsayer, if he can get him low enough, he can just place the Dr. Boom on the board, kind of like a Leper Gnome. Get him to 1, play the Dr. Boom, then the Doomsayer just suicides himself, basically.
Yeah. Oh man, 19 armor. He's going to armor up this turn as well. 21. He's got 50 effective health.
Yeah, so at this point, if he's not playing Malagos, then even if he is playing Malagos, he doesn't have the Emperor yet, so I don't think he's going to have enough time to win this game. But to say okay, so there's the Emperor. That's what I was about to mention, is he didn't even have the Emperor yet. But now that he has the Emperor, there is some hope, but he can't get it down this turn, so he's going to have to wait one more turn.
Yeah, but right now
quite a few fireballs.
Yeah, but right now he hasn't even drawn into the key cards yet. Alex Straza doesn't do as much in this matchup because a lot of times you have more armor to get through than actual health. Of course, it helps if you can keep their armor low. But right now, he just needs to get that Emperor down, lots of value of that, and then he needs to draw into Emperor Archmage Antonitis nearly right after it in order to make use of it before he just dies.
Yeah, I wouldn't have actually minded seeing... He went for the ping there. I wouldn't have minded to just be a little more mana efficient, throw the fireball at face. You're not losing any... You're losing 1 damage from the ping, but with the armor, you're not losing any damage. And you kind of have to free your hand up, because if you are going to win, it's going to take Antonitis and a lot of fireballs, and you kind of have to make room in your hand for that.
Yeah. And he's got a decent hand for when Emperor does come down, because he's got both Ice Lances. Those are going to be reduced to 0, so he has the potential to make all those fireballs, but I don't even know if he's going to be able to get to that point. So many big threats in SerptheTerp's hand. He's going to have to answer the board because he's already gotten pretty low. So he does have both secrets up, so he's a little bit safe. He's going to have a couple more turns to do it, but he's just in a super rough spot. 21 armor still to get through.
Yeah, he's still holding on to that Emperor too. He technically had the Flamestick last turn, but if he's holding something like Malagos, then he really has to hit the Malagos with the Emperor. And he probably wants to hit the Antonidas as well with it. Because both of those cards he has to combo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to break right through the ice barrier here and go ahead and break the block this turn. And there's no second block in the hand here.
Yeah, can you see the very leftmost card? Oh, wait, I think it is block. Like the camera's blocking it, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I saw it when the Grom hit and it bounced up.
Oh,
our view's not perfect, but in the future we'll just keep track of whatever's on the far left.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Frostbolt. Okay, so it doesn't have block.
Oh yeah, I can see the Frostbolt. Yeah. That ice block looks a lot like a Frostbolt.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's going to be able to freeze most of the board here, but all these spells that he's throwing out are spells that need. He's just going to run out of damage. He has no damage left. He won't be able to get down Archmage Antonidas and use spells in the same turn in order to actually have an engine for draw. So he pretty much just. There's no way for him to win at this stage.
Yeah. I'm going to do some quick math. Let's see if he has 21 armor. I got the calculator out. That's
okay.
15.
Hyped math. 15% of 195
is
less
so
than 95.
If he had Malagos, he had plenty of damage, and it would have only taken him 2 turns to get all the damage out. So you can see the power of Malagos there. So he'd only have to live 3 more turns. He'd have to Alex, he'd have to Emperor, and he'd have to Malagos.
Yeah.
And then he could just win.
Yeah. All right,
Whereas say he got the Antonidas, it would take like 3 turns it would take forever.
SerptheTerp is going to win game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, you're always a little sad when you bring Freeze Mage and your opponent brought Control Warrior, which isn't even that popular. Like, Grim Patron Warrior is a little bit stronger these days.
Mm-hmm.
And if SerptheTerp brought Control Warrior, we can kind of assume that maybe he's trying to target Grim Patron rather than bring it himself. So this Hunter is probably going to be a hybrid Hunter. Because Face Hunter doesn't quite do it, and Mid-Range Hunter is a little bit too slow, so it's probably a hybrid Hunter or just a faster Mid-Range Hunter, like a Mid-Range Hunter with Leopard Gnome, something like that.
Yeah.
Or, what did I see? I saw something cool in Mid-Range Hunter the other day. I'm not sure. Oh, like, Harrison. Someone was playing that in ESL. But we can assume the Warlock's probably Handlock, just something to target your own patron.
It seems to be the way that players have been going. They've either been bringing Patron Warrior in their lineups or bringing a lineup that specifically counters Patron Warrior. So
yeah,
it's super interesting.
With a lot of people are coming out with the Aggro Paladin a lot, which is a pretty strong deck. And the strength of that is, or one thing you can do with that is you can target Handlock, which actually, even though Nostam doesn't have it, it might be what he's countering. Because Freeze Mage is fantastic against Handlock, and he has a Warrior, which you can build Warrior with Double Brawl, BGH, Owl, Nefarian, Ysera, and just beat Handlock every time as well. And then his third class was Warlock, which if he plays either Combo Lock, either the Malgus or the Leroy Faceless version, he should be able to lock out Handlock pretty effectively.
Nefarian, the #1 counter to Handlocks. Because you have good. Like a 10% chance to instant win when you play Nefarian if they play Jiraxis?
Well, I did get the sack pack the other day, but I died before the Jiraxis, so almost.
What a shame. You're trying to bait out the Jiraxis by like bringing them low, even though you know that like they have Molten Giants and Jiraxis.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would go about baiting out a Jiraxis. Play Harrison on an empty board?
Play the Harrison on the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Alright,
what do you think
this is like matchup? Basically the dream start. He could have. Sometimes I like Loot Hoarder there, but this is totally fine as well. Actually, it's actually really bad for the Handlock. The Handlock wants to be going first because you want the turn 4 Mountain Giant, whereas you don't really want the Coin Twilight Drake as much, or just the Mountain Giant if you're going second. So you want to go first, and you also want the Mage not to get stuff like Mad Scientist, Loot Hoarder. We see 1 silence going down on the Scientist, which is interesting. Like, normally you'd want to silence the... I guess he only got 1 draw off the Acolyte, so he basically silenced 1 draw. But the Owl's down, which is going to be huge for Doomsayers later.
Yeah.
We see the double anti-heal bot, which means it's most likely not some sort of combo lock, just like a standard hand lock,
You don't.
which it's actually not enough if Nostam can play around the heal bots correctly, and it looks like he has the freedom to. Like if you can see the board right now, he has full control. He's getting in all this free damage from the 2/2s, and there's no pressure at all on him from a giant or something. So he has all the time in the world. So he probably will have the option to play around, to just very carefully play around anti-heal bot and Lotheb. Which
You don't like
means like
the double owl in this matchup?
oh, I do like.
Or,
Oh, does he have double L? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he has it yet. But yeah, double heal bot, Lotheb, double owl. I still don't think it's enough if you don't have the giant early enough. So see, he has no pressure. And usually, if you're playing freeze mage, you can kind of just take your time. You're like, all right, after heal bots, I'll do this. I'll Alex him after he heal bots the second time or the first time, and then I should be good. I have this Frost Nova just ready if he tries to Lotheb me, because he's not forced to use any of this early.
Mm-hmm.
And he got so much damage in, like he's already at 15, so the heal bots are like not enough.
Yeah. And Healbot's pretty expensive mana-wise, at least. So on turns where you're developing Healbot, you're not really doing much else, and you sort of have to, like you said, get those giants out early, get the pressure out early. Letting the freeze mage sort of have their way with the game is just asking for trouble, asking to die. And those early creatures actually get in for a lot of damage. Just the Loot Hoarder and the Mad Scientist each hit for like 6 damage apiece, so they turned into fireballs
more than
effectively.
that. They were alive the whole time, yeah. I kind of would have liked him see. He had so much time. He could have been a little bit greedy with that Acolyte and just like played his other Seeker, got it out of his hand, and then got the guaranteed Acolyte ping. But as long as this doesn't get owled, it's fine. He has his Doomsayer, so maybe he wants to test for that second owl as well. But at this point, you have to start worried for your Doomsayer. You have to start worrying about things like Shadow Flame and just Hellfire Dark Bomb or Siphon Soul. So he's probably going to want to save. Like against a Druid, you can do you can do 2 Doomsayers in 1 turn, but against a Handlock, it's generally better just to freeze Doomsayer. So you don't Doomsayer until you have your second one. So you freeze Doomsayer 2 turns in a row, and even if they don't both go off, it'll slow down the Handlock a lot.
Yeah. Well, he does draw into the Archmage Antonidas, so I mean, he didn't even really need it because he had so much burn damage in his hand already. Now he just has to be able to survive to make it through until he can get out that amount of damage.
Yeah, he's thinking about the Frost Nova for just a second so he can get one of the secrets up, but then he realized he's like, no, I don't need the Frost Nova now. I'll save it for either a Lotheb turn or just a more mana efficient turn if I do want to play my secrets. So he did the Blizzard Doomsayer, very mana efficient. And there's actually no good answer. So Shadow Flame takes off like he loses half his board if he Shadow Flames. He doesn't want a Hellfire. He's going to tap, and he's probably going to be forced to Shadow Flame. He doesn't want to tap either.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of lists only run 1 owl now, so it makes it so some of your matchups are more consistent across the board, but this is one of those matchups where you love to have those owls because there's Acolyte Pains, and if they get
even Scientists.
Yeah, if they get a Doomsayer out on your board and you have a big board, if you lose that momentum, sometimes that just loses you the game right there.
Yeah, just that Shadow Flame hurts. Like, normally Shadow Flame's okay, but his board, that was half his board. Really rough.
Yeah. And he doesn't really have enough mana to do anything else. He's afraid to life tap, so he just Shadow Flames and passes over his turn.
Yeah, he's like one off lethal with the ping there. So he can afford to just play it slow and wait. I wouldn't mind just seeing double secret ping. He does not need to freeze this board.
Mm-hmm. And also, he only has that 1 freeze left. And you talked about it, that Frost Nova is so important in this matchup because it's the only freeze that you can get through Lotheb. And you know they're going to run Lotheb, but you know they're going to have a big board at some point. So
yeah, plus he's got that Antonidas. So even at this point, just an Antonidas Frost Nova, just get the 1 Fireball is awesome because, like, then your opponent has to deal with the 5/7. And you saw that he doesn't have Siphon, basically. And he might have to burn another Shadow Flame if he even runs it. So there's no Owl.
Yeah, not looking too good. This is sort of similar to the last matchup, but SerptheTerp is in the position where it feels like he's flailing just a little bit. He's just going to throw out the first heal bot, so he's going to get out of range of some of this burn. But again, the hand from Nostam is just super solid. He's got the Archmage Antonidas, he's got the freeze, he's got ways to be able to draw into the burn that he needs.
Yeah, so it looks like Archmage is the best option. He could go for an Arcane Intellect, but this way he locks down the board and he gets a threat on the board.
So how do you come back here if you're SerptheTerp?
It looks like there's no direct answer to Antonidas, so he's probably just going to go for the Loatheb, and will he Healbot or just Belcher? He could save the Healbot to be a little more sneakier, because if he does Healbot now, he's really vulnerable to an Alex. But I think he's pretty sure that Nostam doesn't have Alex.
Yeah.
But it looks like he wants to pace out his anti-Healbot, get it on more of a tricky turn, I guess.
Whoa, the Emperor Thorson drawn with nearly all burn spells in his hand. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. On your Loatheb turn, you're looking for a way to spend your mana, like not without spells, and that's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah. He's thinking about it, though. Is he thinking about maybe trying to take something off the board? Is he counting up damage? Is he afraid that he might get his block popped? What is...
Yeah, wow, he might feel like Fireball. He needs to generate at least one spell off this Antonidas.
Just doing the math in his head?
Yeah. It's actually... You know, he can afford to go either way. So once you see the Loatheb down, that's really... you see a Loatheb and a Healbot, so now all you have to worry about is the second Healbot and a Jiraxxus. And maybe he feels like with the Loatheb down, he can just win with just a few burn spells. It actually is a tough decision. So he has a second Ice Block, so he knows he has time. It's pretty tough, yeah. He goes for the Emperor. He feels like he has enough burn.
Yeah. Alright. Is it ping the face indication of anything, or is it just saying I'm probably never going to kill this board unless I get a Doomsayer, so let me just ping the face to try and get some burst in. Try and get some damage in.
Yeah, exactly. You're just going to freeze the board a few times or ignore the board with your Ice Block.
Yeah. And the one thing is, he is out of freeze. He does have a lot of burn, but he is out of freeze. So if he finds a way to deal with the board and anti-Killbot's up, does he have enough damage to kill him? He's got... Nah, he does have enough damage to kill him.
Yeah,
if he
Healbot's
the next 3 turns.
He basically has 30 damage, so...
Yeah.
SerptheTerp's going to need like a really tricky Jiraxxus on some critical turn, but it's probably not going to happen with that Loatheb down.
Or maybe the old Earthen Ring Farseer.
Oh yeah, there should be a Siphon as well. Okay.
A Siphon, so, yeah.
Either a Siphon or an Earthen Ring.
But he needs that in like the next 3 turns. One of those.
Yeah, it looks like he's already way too far behind. He missed the Giant in the beginning, and that just gave Nostam like 5 free turns. And not only is it free turns, but like if you get a Giant down early, then Nostam's forced to like fit freezes in his early turns, which means he doesn't get his draws as early as possible, and his turns are just far less mana efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has so much option. Oh, is it just lethal?
There's actually multiple options for lethal. He could have Fireball, Frostbolt, Ping. He could have Blood Mage Thalnos, Fireball, Frostbolt. Like, there was actually like 5 different ways for him to kill him just with his hand. So
okay, yeah, he's probably going over all those options when he did play the Emperor. He's like, oh hey, I have like 3 different combos here.
And killing with Pyroblast is the most stylish way to do it. So that's how he had to finish that game off.
Only if it's golden, which is very expensive. I didn't notice if he had the golden one or not.
I think most of his deck was actually non-golden.
Oh man, I don't know if I can prove that.
If you min-max, it's actually better unless your whole deck is... Well, not the whole deck, but individual card-by-card basis, because then your opponent can track. If you lose and you played 1 golden and 1 non-golden, your opponent can realize that, okay, he has 2 copies of that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to min-max.
Like slight benefits.
Yeah. But it's going to be tied up 1-1. Remaining decks for both these players. They both have Warlocks, and Nostam still has Warrior remaining, and SerptheTerp still has Hunter remaining.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Nostam is going for the anti-handlock strategy, which means he's running a type of handlock that's going to lose to the Hunter.
Yeah.
And then his Warrior will probably beat the Hunter. But basically they're both going to beat the handlock. We'll see if I'm right here, if it's just some sort of anti-handlock. It's actually a mid-range hunter.
Handlock?
Yeah. A mid-range hunter is going to be good news for Nostam. It's not a full-face hunter.
Yeah. You like that matchup better if you're the handlock player?
The thing is, you have to know, because sometimes you do something dumb, like you're like, not dumb, but like something inefficient early when you want to make like long-term plays where you just make like the short-term just protect my face plays.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe if you know it's mid-range, you got to fit in just a few more taps. Maybe you have to like slam a Sylvanas, and
Hmm.
then like before like normally Sylvanas isn't that great against Face Hunter, but it's amazing against mid-range hunter if you get it down like before their Savannah, for example. But
Yeah.
he doesn't have a read at all here on what it is.
Yeah. It's this matchup. I've actually played a lot of this matchup from both sides on the ladder over the past couple days, and I don't have a good read on it
Oh,
because
he
I've
just
heard
gave
some
away the web spinner though.
the web spinner. Yeah, so he
Yeah.
knows it's mid range. A lot of people say that the mid range hunter is actually favored since they can like build up a big board and then kill you in a single turn, as opposed to face hunter, which do like a consistent like medium amount of damage to you every single turn, which opens up bigger windows for you to like molten giant. As far as just the matchup in general goes, for mid-range hunter, when you know it's mid-range hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, so the main thing with mid-range hunter is you have a chance to miss your early curve, like a much higher chance to miss your early curve. Whereas face hunter, you're almost never going to miss your early curve, and you will lose occasionally to like molten plus healbot plus probably 2 taunt givers at least. But other than that, you'll win. Whereas mid-range hunter, you have a big chance of just losing just because you have a bad early curve and they play a giant before you can do anything meaningful. But Sukapan had a pretty decent start. I mean, Knife Juggler, Haunted Creeper doesn't get much better than that. But as you can see, he did lose control of the board. And since he's not a face hunter with things like he does have an owl, but he doesn't have any chargers.
Yeah.
So actually, oh, the names got switched. It's not
Yeah,
Superman.
yeah,
It's
it's
Nostam versus
SerptheTerp. Yeah, yeah.
SerptheTerp. So
Yeah.
he already lost the board, which is what happens when you play mid range. But he like got in damage like he was a face hunter, but now he doesn't have like the same kind of reach.
Hmm.
So now he's trying to gain back the board rather than seeing the silence on the belcher, which you normally see. So we see the silence on the. Although I wouldn't have minded seeing the owl bow on the belcher,
Hmm.
like the same play, but let the Twilight Drip get frozen.
Yeah.
That was interesting, but he's playing for. He's trying to control a little bit because he has like very high value cards like Doctor Boom Beast.
He got the beast off web spinner.
Yeah, he normally just gets wrecked by Big Game Hunter, so I'll play the Doctor Boom first rather than give him the. Oh, okay.
Now he wants to clear first.
Okay, so now he's clearing the belcher.
Clearing the board is good in this matchup just because you sort of want to always have. It feels like you always want to have the board, and so that you can make big turns with like Doctor Boom, and they're more impactful when they actually do end up coming down.
Yeah, I felt like he needed to prevent the Healbot bounce too, which isn't that big of a deal in this matchup as much as Face Hunter, but probably the right choice to just make it very difficult for your opponent to play around freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
That is
2 BGH targets in hand. So
really great.
I'm gonna say he's gonna be willing to break his bow to protect his 2 BGH targets.
Yeah, because he does not want to get that freezing trap. And in a way, you can kind of say, well, he didn't play anything big on turn 7, so maybe he doesn't have Doctor Boom, so I can play BGH safely now. And he's thinking also, I want to have an easy way to deal with this freezing trap. So let me just throw out this BGH. He's not going to waste his bow charge to kill my BGH, but little do you know.
Oh man. Okay. Imp King boss. I don't know if that's going to do it, but we do see the double power in the Faceless, which means he's probably playing Arcane Golem.
Yeah.
That's 24 damage burst. So that's lethal. And he does have 10 mana, if he can find it. That's not it. Yeah, so this looks more like Zele's combo lock from way back when.
Yeah, just straight up combo lock, yeah.
Yeah, with the Siphons and the Black Knights.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset about that Siphon.
Gets the Finkel. So it's called Finkel Ironhorn? Yeah.
Oh man, that's... Yeah, he's really looking for that Arcane Golem.
Yeah, he
tap
does.
us a little bit. I guess, yeah, no, tap was right.
Yeah, so the double power overwhelming indicates Arcane Golem, whereas usually like single power overwhelming indicates the Leroy combo. Since
yeah, I mean, even with the single power overwhelming, some people like Arcane Golem still, so you don't have to like rely on Emperor. Or if you do get Emperor, maybe you could fit in something like a Dark Bomb, but
Yeah.
the Leroy just gives you a little bit more damage, and plus you're not always, you don't even have to use the combo with that deck. You can just power Creature and then Leroy later, or just Leroy power.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Use it as like a Shadow Flame buffer, like to maybe like turn an Owl into a bigger Shadow Flame target or something like that. Well, this board is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, he's actually pretty far behind now.
And this combo lock doesn't really have as many defensive tools as normal hand lock. Usually at this stage in the game, once they've like removed everything and run you out of cards, they are hoping to have drawn into their full combo already.
Okay. So Owl, Leok, Emperor is the most defensive play? I lost track of what cards on the far left.
Hellfire.
Okay. That's not useful.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of damage staring at him on board. He'd be lethal on board. Whoa! Okay, he's going to Implosion.
Okay, I guess this guarantees a bomb won't hit him in the face, pretty much.
Yeah. He's only used one kill command, though, right? He used the one kill command on the Belcher.
3 damage
kill
off
command
lethal.
off the top. Yeah, 3 damage. Quick shot. Bow, kill
shot.
command.
Unleash.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not Face Hunter, so I would be pretty confident if I was the Warlock that I'd live one more turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's saying there's very few things that only do 1 or 2 damage. It would be just Explosive Trap, Glaive Zuka, which probably hasn't played, and Abusive Sergeant, and Houndmaster. So pretty much just Houndmaster, because those other cards are less common. So probably a good call to tap there.
And he knows that he doesn't have to worry about like Wolf Rat or Arcane Golem, since he's pretty much been able to see that this is pure mid-range, especially with the Dr. Boom.
I wonder, is there a Leok lethal next turn if everything lives? So if he facelesses the Leok, that's 6, 7, 8. Oh no. It would be 16 total.
That's creative.
So now that he full traded in, maybe he can go for like a Belcher faceless if he doesn't get it.
Whoa, that's
or that
a pretty
faceless.
good draw.
Yeah. Really solid.
Yeah. He's going to be able to... The double 5 drop is just super strong play. And Freezing Trap is probably not the draw you wanted to see, especially since there's a heal bot on board.
Even use it, because he can't kill the heal bot.
Yeah.
He can bluff, maybe. He can bluff it as... No, there's no good bluffs anyways. Okay.
Yeah.
The so explosive,
he would just... It. Yeah.
Just hold Although maybe... Okay, maybe heal... Okay. If he heal botted for 7 mana, then he would still take... Okay, so he would still take 2 damage, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, he's going to be able to clear the board and basically start from scratch with an Emperor, which is pretty strong. So...
Yeah, so maybe actually freezing was the correct play. Even though they heal, you'd be in a better position than you are now. So I think freezing would... Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe not with this kill command. He has 1 turn, basically.
So he has to draw into just a single point of damage next turn, or else he's probably going to die, because there would be lethal... Yeah, all he would have to do is just... Oh no, that's a freezing trap, that's right.
Oh, he tapped, though. See, now he's dead. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was a really bold tap. I mean, I can understand he wants to get close to that combo, but so many things kill you.
Oh, wrong order.
I can't even
Black Knight there.
Oh, no.
Oh, I liked his other tap when it was the difference between, you know, nothing does 1 to 2 damage pretty much compared to all the things that do 3. But this tap seemed a little bit crazy. Oh, okay, it doesn't work. Okay, cool.
Okay. I thought it was the same as BGH. Black Knight's just been out of the meta for so long, I just can't even remember what it even does anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to think if that freezing was better, because he did hold it and it did make sense, but okay. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, we weren't expecting to take that one anyways, and we... so it is the Arcane Golem lock, which should be good against hand lock. Should that be Serp's Yeah, we saw it is handlock. So Nostam should be still in a great spot. I'm guessing his warriors double brawl, maybe an owl, but even just double brawl Ysera, it should be enough to beat handlock most of the time. Pitching everything.
Yeah, both players pitching everything away. So we're gonna get fresh hands here. Looking for the threats, especially handlock versus handlock. If you don't hit threats and your opponent does, it's just so hard for you to catch up.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, this is not even like handlock. This is combo.
Oh yeah, the Black Knight should be huge. Okay. Yeah, Nostam is going to be... Okay, so how does Nostam lose this? He loses this by not being able to deal with something like an Emperor, by losing the board, which is possible since there's the Mountain Giant, but here's the BGH. So it's going to be really hard to lose this. So he's going to play the Twilight Drake, he's going to have the Big Game Hunter to back it up. SerptheTerp's going to need a Owl, but he can't even really tap here unless he's willing to burn something.
Mm-hmm.
And the Void, the lone Voidwalker, I don't know if he's going to be doing much.
That's like the anti-aggro tool, it feels. That was always put into... It was put into that 1 week where Darquanix won, like the Legendary Series with his new combo lock with Demon Heart.
Yeah, it's basically a Zombie Chow, but without the heal backfire, which is a big deal for the combo lock deck.
Yeah. Wow, such a
I guess that's a really cheap... it's a really cheap Shadow Flame, too, with the Voidwalker power Shadow Flame. If you have to do it, it's a little better than a Watcher Shadow Flame.
Yeah, and it's not like as worse of an early game tool as an anti-aggro tool than Watcher can be sometimes. You don't have an activator.
Right.
It's got every answer. He's
got quite a lot of damage already. Yeah.
And he doesn't even have... You just play Emperor here and just try and open up opportunities for next turn, but like the rest of his hand is just so reactive. He doesn't have any of the threats.
Yeah, Nostam's like 1 damage off lethal. If there's no taunt. Okay, so there's a taunt. But that's actually going to hurt, because now he can just develop a AoE resistant board again with the Twilight Drake.
Yeah, and he's not going to get as much Emperor value out of it when it finally does come down, because he's just scared of what would happen if he let that board go with no taunts up.
And there's the Mortal Coil to perfectly kill the Belcher. Oh, he's got another one, alright. Yeah, Drake tap if he can afford it. He has 10 cards though, right? Oh, he wants to get the Voidwalker down. He wants to just get more... I don't know what the Voidwalker accomplishes.
Well, it makes it so Power Overwhelming Hellfire is lethal the next turn.
Oh yeah, because he's 1 off the turn before, that's right.
Yeah, if he doesn't tap. So, if he's really calculating lethal, that gives him perfect lethal next turn.
Yeah, I think he is, because he counted before, 1 off. When I counted it, he's like, alright, let's get the extra 1. And that should be it. Well played.
He knows.
Yeah, you know when you're playing against this deck. But you can't, there's no efficient way for him to play defensive, so he just has to Emperor.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice throwing out the Boardwalker to get perfect lethal like that.
Yeah, just getting such easy board control with the BGH. I mean, the BGH, I think the deck plays 2, so it's not even that lucky, but then the BGH followed by the Black Knight, it's like, how do you clear the board when they BGH and Black Knight? You're just too far behind. You're not going to get a Shadow Flame off, so...
They can leave you at 20 health for basically the entirety of the game, because they know that all of their combos are going to bring you there. They can just seize the board and then never let go. It feels like Druid, but it less consistent against everything else, but better against Handlock because your combos can do more. And he plays just super reactive cards. It's a really cool deck. Really cool deck.
Yeah. Maybe I should have played that instead of the Lyra version. It's okay. Alright. But yeah, so this warrior, I know you're a Control Warrior player, and how fun is it to play Control Warrior when you've teched its... Okay.
Oh, no. It's Patron.
Okay, but, I mean, if he brought Freeze Mage and Combo Lock, I have to believe he's running a BGH and an Owl, or an Owl in this deck.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think BGH has become pretty standard across most popular Patron players. At least all the ones that I've been talking to have said that BGH is... Actually, I don't think the Rat put BGH in his.
Yeah, he has that really tight version that he's been working on forever, though, with the Commanding Shout. So it kind of makes up for it. But and a lot of Grim Patrons have been trying the Shield Slam out a little bit, so they've been kind of the BGH. But I no Stam, so I got this anti-hand luck lineup. You got to have a BGH Owl Patron to finish it off.
Yeah.
We'll see what text he has though. Nothing non-standard yet.
Well, at first this matchup was Patron Warrior players said that this matchup was nearly impossible, but I've heard differing opinions as time goes on, as players are starting to realize how to play against it better, especially now that players are teching in BGH and or Owl in their decks. They're saying that the matchup actually isn't as bad as a lot of Patron Warrior players were saying early on. So I've actually seen quite a few competitive Patron Warrior versus Handlock games where the Patron Warrior, even without commanding shot, wins.
Yeah, and it really depends on things like if the. It seems like the Patron Warrior is kind of sneaking past, like maybe like them not having the double Hellfire, maybe missing a taunt giver or something.
Yeah, but that's Handlock. I mean, that's
True,
how
yeah.
a lot of classes sneak past it.
Okay. Ooh, Frothing would be ballsy. I don't think he's going to go for it. Just like a simple execute. So he knows, he's pretty sure. Whenever you make your turn 4 play, you're already thinking about dealing with the Belcher. So he's like, how does he set up for a Belcher? Yeah, Acolyte's great because then he could Deathspite the first half if he needs to. And plus he has that Cruel Taskmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Plus he knows his opponent's not going to Hellfire that. That's like kind of the nice thing about playing Patron is like, you can set up these boards that they really want to Hellfire, but they can't because they don't see a Patron in there.
Yeah. Yeah. This matchup is one of those matchups where you never want to throw down the Frothing Berserker as sort of an on-curve thing. It's your main win condition, even above Patrons. In a lot of matchups, you're looking to get big Patrons and overwhelm them, but in this matchup, it's all about those Frothing Berserkers.
Yeah, although some people are starting, like Kit Kats is saying, on turn 4 before the Handlock's 4-drop, they'll throw down a Frothing, but at this point, yeah, you can't throw it down at this point. It's just a complete waste.
Yeah, like it's both of them. Whoa!
Yeah, although anyone watching the EU Open Finals that I casted last week remembers that I wish I could give this player a shout out because he played it really cool and like he beat this Handlock without Warsong, without Frothing, with just Patrons and weapons basically, and maybe Grom. But the way he played, it wasn't like he was just kind of throwing everything against the wall. It was very calm, like baiting out the Hellfire. Okay, let's bait out the second Hellfire. Let's make him Hellfire on this turn where it's really hard to, and then let's just kill him. And it was like it looked really strategic and planned out. So it was really cool to watch that. And yeah, it was basically him just like, he's like, okay, if you have Hellfire, you still have to do it on a really bad turn, and it's going to cost you a lot, and you're going to take the 3 damage, and you're not going to develop a ton. I'll just keep killing you. And it was really cool to see that.
Yeah.
But actually, Nostam's got the Warsong double Frothing and the Dread Corsair, which is free. So we're going to see a huge burst turn. He's out of Executes and Owls, and okay, so SerptheTerp has to set up a taunt, but he's thinking, is this my last turn to Dr. Boom? It's like, do I need this offense and hope he doesn't have the Warsong combo?
Can he win with, since he won't have enough mana for both, can he win with just the Warsong Commander, Dread Corsair, Frothing Berserker next turn? I think he can if Dr. Boom.
I think he can if Dr. Boom comes down, and if you're SerptheTerp, you only have 1 taunt giver.
Yeah.
And you can hit the Watcher and the kind of weakened Mountain Giant, which I think is too safe. You know, if I was playing the Handlock, I'd be like, no, I need to get this is my only taunt giver. I need to hit 2 big targets with taunt. And I haven't seen Emperor from my opponent. I think I still have time. That's what I'd be thinking if I was Handlock. But you can see there's some hesitation where he's like, I might need to taunt here.
He's really thinking about it hard. He hasn't even drawn to that much of his deck. Oh wow, the Dr. Boom is played.
Yeah, he goes for the Dr. Boom. I don't blame him. You can't just taunt one thing and win most of the time. You need to get double taunt. Plus with the Molten Giant, you kind of want to bait a little bit more damage, and then you're going to double taunt the Moltens. So I totally don't blame him here.
So it should be game.
But yeah, is it
as
enough?
long as the Boom bots don't hit the Frothing Berserker, he can Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker for 6, play Dread Corsair and coin out Armorsmith, and that'll be
got the Armorsmith down. There's
9 targets on board, so that'll be a 11 attack Frothing Berserker plus 4 damage from the Deathspite. plus 3 damage from the Dread Corsair. So that should be lethal as long as the Boombots don't hit the Frothing Berserker.
Okay, so he goes to face with the Dread Corsair first. Oh, is he going to end up acolyting into something? No, he just acolytes face as well. Okay.
Yeah. And Armorsmith, I mean, this is such a low chance that these Boombots kill the Frothing Berserker, but there is a chance.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 3 HP.
It killed it!
Oh, man.
Unless Spectre Delay bugged out and we...
No, I think you're right. I think we'd
got
see
the attack in.
It's Serp. Look at Serp. Serp thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
He's going to be really happy in a second.
Wow.
Can he see? Oh,
Wow.
His hands went up?
Oh, no, okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I thought you were right.
It was just a delay. Yeah, it was just the green went away, but
fast,
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. That was actually exciting. Yeah, people say the green messes it up, but it confused us. Alright.
Yeah. Well, when you're actually playing, if the green goes away, you lost.